Did you know there is a vampire Batman in DC Comics? Most people know Batman as Gotham's greatest detective, the dark vigilante who fights criminals using intelligence, fear, and relentless discipline. But many fans still have no idea that DC Comics once transformed Batman into something far more terrifying than a normal superhero, in one of the darkest alternate realities ever created. Batman stopped being the hunter of monsters and became a monster himself. Yes, there is officially a vampire Batman in DC Comics. And honestly, he is one of the most horrifying versions of Bruce Wayne ever imagined. This nightmare incarnation appears mainly in the legendary Elseworlds storyline, Batman and Dracula, Red Reign, a gothic horror saga that reimagines Gotham City as a battlefield consumed by vampires, bloodshed, and supernatural darkness. Instead of facing ordinary mobsters or costumed criminals, Batman finds himself fighting Dracula himself in a war that slowly destroys his humanity. And the most terrifying part: to defeat Dracula, Batman ultimately becomes a vampire too. The story begins with Gotham City falling into chaos under the influence of vampires led by Dracula. People vanish during the night. Fear spreads through the city like a disease. At first, Batman approaches the mystery like any normal investigation, using detective work and intimidation. But Bruce quickly realizes something horrifying. These are not ordinary killers. These are creatures beyond human understanding. Dracula and his vampires are physically superior, terrifyingly fast, and nearly impossible to kill permanently. Gotham itself begins transforming into a nightmare city where darkness literally belongs to predators. This changes Batman completely. One of the reasons Vampire Batman became so iconic is because the transformation feels tragically believable. In Red Reign, that obsession reaches its ultimate conclusion. Batman becomes willing to sacrifice even his humanity if it means saving the city. During the conflict against Dracula, Batman is attacked and infected. At first, the transformation is incomplete. Bruce struggles against growing bloodlust and monstrous instincts, but eventually he realizes that fully embracing vampirism may be the only way. So Bruce makes the ultimate sacrifice. He chooses to become a monster. Vampire Batman is tragic because Bruce understands exactly what he is losing. He knows that every step pushes him further away from humanity. Physically, Vampire Batman is vastly more dangerous. He retains all his intelligence and combat mastery, now enhanced by supernatural powers. He gains monstrous strength, capable of overpowering enemies effortlessly. His speed increases dramatically, allowing him to move through darkness. His senses become inhumanly sharp. He can track prey through smell and perceive the fear inside people around him. Vampire Batman looks less like a superhero and more like a demonic creature. His face becomes pale and monstrous. His teeth sharpen into fangs. Massive bat-like wings erupt from his body, making him resemble a literal predator of the night. Normally, Batman follows strict moral rules, especially regarding killing. But vampirism slowly erodes that restraint. The hunger inside him constantly pushes him toward violence and bloodshed. Bruce is not simply fighting enemies anymore. He is fighting himself. Supervillains who once challenged Batman suddenly find themselves facing a supernatural monster capable of tearing them apart effortlessly. The Joker's interactions with vampire Batman are deeply unsettling because Joker immediately recognizes what Bruce has become. Joker understands that Batman is losing the moral boundaries that once separated hero from monster. As the trilogy progresses, Batman's vampiric nature grows dominant. The thirst becomes harder to control. The violence escalates. Physically, Vampire Batman becomes one of the strongest alternate versions of Bruce Wayne ever shown in DC. He manipulates fear expertly. And now imagine all of those traits amplified by vampire instincts. That is an apex predator. Red Rain embraces Gothic horror completely. Gotham feels ancient, cursed, and consumed by darkness. It feels like a nightmare, and within that nightmare, Batman finally becomes the creature Gotham always believed he was. Batman's obsession with protecting Gotham was always dangerous. Red Rain shows what happens when that obsession abandons all humanity. If you enjoyed this exploration, subscribe to the More Vampires channel for more vampire lore and dark fantasy stories.